Welcome with a new episode of the Market Reports, and today we're going to discuss four topics, but one main topic, and that's because one of the biggest players in that subsector was in the news this week with good earning figures, and the market where they nowadays operate is a fast-growing sector, fast-growing market. It's not even a sector. And as you know us, we like to talk about sectors because then if the sector goes up, then it's more easy to pick some individual shares or products that can benefit from the rise. We are talking today about the obesity market. Now it is estimated that that market is around $25 billion worldwide, and it will grow at the end of this decade to $100 billion. So 4 times bigger. So that's a growing market. And if you look at the world, one of the 8 people, so 1 billion, because we are together with around 8 billion, is obesity. Is obesity. Has obesity.
Yeah, is suffering from obesity.
Or suffering from obesity. And around
say it's difficult.
Around 2.5 billion, so that's around 30%, is too heavy. And as you probably know, there are nowadays products on the market that hardly don't have any side effects, or not proven side effects yet, that you can inject, and that your gravity will go down for food, and that you will lose a lot of kilos. It became popular in and around Hollywood because a lot of famous actors, they started with it and they are able to buy, because if you have to buy it without an insurance, it costs you in America around $1,000 a month. You inject it 4 times a month every week, and then you will lose tens of kilos. But it's a huge market, because if you see on the internet, how many advertisements do you see about weight loss, and this is a proven concept. Of course, where is the product coming from? What was it on initially?
And also diabetes.
Yeah, and for example, you said just before we started.
Yeah, Novo Nordisk, when we always went to go to the Costa Blanca, I remember that they sponsored a cycling team, and the cycling team consisted of only young cyclists suffering from diabetes. And I had a very specific recipe. I remember it was one of the most health-friendly diabetes fighting medicines, to say it like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was made out of a substance that comes from potatoes or something like that. Literally, really? Yeah. Look it up. It was not really damaging your health, from what I understood.
And so that's where they come from, Novo Nordisk. It's the biggest company in Europe. It's valued of around $500 billion. It's the biggest company.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
They made a big jump the last 2 years, and they performed very well also this first quarter, 24% improvement of turnover and 28% of profits. And they have 2 products, Wegovy and Ozempic, and so that are the products. But it's also it's such a high demand. They invested in 2023, I think, 17 billion in the product line, and to buy products for to make the product, because it's such a high demand. And of course, a lot of those products that used to go and need to go to people with diabetes are now going to these people. So it's a really internal conflict. So the share is already going up. Is it still interesting to buy the share? If you look at the earnings per share, and I looked at it from now until 2028, based on the earnings per share for this year, you pay around 40 times the profits. That's quite high.
It's high, yeah.
It is expected that the profit will go up the next 4 years, and in 2028 you pay, if they will succeed in it, the the price earning will be 2021, and then you are talking about a normal price.
Yeah.
If you look at the historical price earning, it was already 20, but also price earning is nowadays. This is a popular product, and it's a growing market. So price earnings are, you don't focus too much on it. What is important is that they have, it's a Danish company. If you look and they report in Danish krones, they have a turnover of around 300 billion and a profit of around 100 billion. So hey, they make, for every krone that they get in, it's a 33% of profit, and that's a lot.
That's good.
And of course that's
It's also
good.
dangerous.
Yeah, that's good for now, but that can have a pressure. And what will be the pressure? The pressure will be that they have to lower the prices. And for example, Senator Bernie Sanders, he announced, I think it was at the end of March, he said, "This is ridiculous. This such a high prices of $1,000 per month. That will disrupt the whole market and also families." They investigated what the cost price is probably, and the cost price is on a monthly basis under the $5. And mainly the biggest part of it is like $3 something is the material, the injection needles that you need for it, and the product itself, the drugs, is not even $1.
Yeah, so that says enough.
Novo Nordisk didn't respond on it. They said we're not going to say about the cost price. What they do said is that out of the income of the $1,000, they pay around 75% to the markets, to the distributors, etc., to rebates and discounts. But probably they have to lower their prices. But on the other hand, they are still market leader, and they only have one competitor. Their patents they will last until 2033, so 9 years from now on, and they come with a pill and an oral variant this year, and probably your company will come with it. It's the only competitor they have at the moment, and they will come with a pill next year.
Yeah.
What's the competitor?
The competitor in this case is Eli Lilly. The stock is valued at $780 per share, so it's not a cheap stock, specifically for people trading options and stuff. It's always quite a high lot that you have to buy then. The product that they have in the market is called Zepbound. It was approved by the FDA in November 2023, and they have a specific marketing strategy. They have an app which is called Lilly Direct, and there you can answer some questions, do some tests, and then they decide whether you have to buy the product or not. And you can get it actually pretty easy from what I read in the articles, in the research that we did. If you have insurance in the US, you can buy it for less than around $25 a month, which is significantly cheaper than of course Ozempic. And if you don't have insurance, it's about $550, which is also half of it cheaper. Same functionality. You basically increase some sort of hormone levels that stop your appetite. You don't want to eat as much, and they state that you could lose up to 25% of your body weight. That's a lot. So if it's all healthy, we leave that to the side. Looking from a fundamental perspective, Eli Lilly is a healthy company. The moment you're paying 60 times the earnings, which is a lot, but if you look towards the future, towards 2028, they get to the same price earnings as, in this case, Novo Nordisk, so 22 times the earnings. That is very, very decent. So interesting. I've seen this stock many times in clients that have pharmaceutical exposure to US stocks. They don't only have this stock. It's same as like Pfizer, which you also want to mention maybe something quickly about. They're also looking to do something, but had some side effects with their medicine. Eli Lilly is
better in other things.
Yeah, they're better in other stuff, COVID vaccines and stuff like that. But Eli Lilly is an interesting company to follow and see where they can bring this.
Sorry. I wanted to add on the figures is that they have a turnover of around 30 billion, and half of it is coming from the two products where we were talking
with
about.
Novo Nordisk, you're talking about.
Sorry, and so if the market grows 4 times and they can have a market share of, they can grow, they only double, for example, then their turnover is increasing with 50%. And so that's you have to take it in consideration.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, the price pressure per product is really important.
Yeah, some other exciting news then this week on the stock market. Of course, we had the Fed yesterday saying that they will leave the interest rates higher for longer. 5.25 is the current rate. And also, we talked about chocolate a couple of weeks ago. Chocolate was at highest levels ever. Yeah, this week we came back from that almost 40% drop in prices, and initially it was said that the drop in price was because of the margin requirements by the brokers in the market were increased, and therefore you had to, if you want to hold your position, you need to add more money. If you don't have that money, there's only one way out, and that's closing positions. So that brings then price pressure, because people start selling, because they need to get out. Otherwise, you lose your position. You lose anyway, but in this way. On the other hand, what was also said is that it started raining like crazy in Western Africa, especially the countries like Ghana, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, and Nigeria. And there you can see once again how important climatological circumstances are for these commodities. Like I also heard that El Nino has now stopped, and El Nino is one of the biggest climatological effects in the world. That has a lot of impact on commodity prices, on potatoes, on wheat, on sugar, etc., etc. That one has stopped now, and the rain picked up in Africa, and that is really good for the harvest of next year.
And the daily drop of 20% was the biggest drop since 1960 with a commodity. And I think when we talked about it, what you said 3 weeks ago, it was trading at $1,000.
12,000.
And then it went up to 12,000, and now it's trading below the 800.
Yeah,
we put the chart in the screen, but it's
crazy. You see how dangerous it can be to invest in these sorts of commodities if you don't understand the market well.
But this is definitely.
I think it was a wrap now.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
See you soon next week.
Give us your thumb.